to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Well. Imagine that. Look at us sitting here in front of microphones. Good day, all. Welcome to the Detroit Cast with Mike and Jay. Big E, we are Sans Nerd today. How are you, my friend?
Very well, Mike. I'm very well.
I am as well. I like your new 5-2 with a 3 to fade.
5 on the top, 2 on the sides, 3 to blend.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah, it looks just like the last one, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, the consistency is what I like.
You wear it well. It's very nice.
Thank you.
Yes.
I feel faster today.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you do. How was your weekend?
It was good. Started off with a bang. You like that? Started off with a bang on Friday.
I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, we had the pleasure.
I don't know that
The pleasure of exercising our Second Amendment rights vigorously.
Oh, did we ever exercise those rights?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Dude, that was a tremendous amount of fun.
Yeah.
I had no idea how much fun it could be to hold just the power. Oh, we went to what we're talking about is Jay and I, and we even let
Dickweed.
Big E tag along with us. Went out with my former partner,
Yeah.
the Crack Brothers. We'll just call them the Crack Brothers. They
One
took us out-
Marine, one cop.
Yes.
Put it that way.
Yeah.
Well-trained individuals.
Yeah. You would not want to mess with those two gentlemen.
No.
I'll say that. But they had an arsenal. It was arsenal. Safe to say an arsenal?
I would say 2 separate arsenals, one of the handgun variety and one of the long gun variety,
Yeah.
set up at different stations.
Wow.
And we had the pleasure of squeezing off a few rounds.
Yeah, and we did.
No clips were involved, Mike, all magazines.
I will say there were some clips, though, that he had to take it out of, the bullets out of, to put in the magazines. So clips do exist, but yeah, they were magazines. We all know that. No need to shame anybody here, but yeah, you don't realize, well, some people realize, but what did we shoot? We had 9 millimeters. We had
380, 9mm, 45,
we had
40.
a Glock,
Yeah.
45, 40.
Yep. I think we had a 40 and a 45 in each hand at one point.
Yeah,
a 9mm and a 45 in each.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we have video of you
Double fisted.
Boom.
Yeah, I don't know that I'll have the chance to do that again. Yeah.
It's awesome,
Double-fisted
isn't it?
cowboy style. That was sweet. That was really sweet.
I did too, but it wasn't captured on video. We did get you though, and then we went over to the rifle range, and
We have M4, AR-15, one that we shouldn't mention.
An
don't mention that. AK.
AK-47.
Yeah.
Yep.
Had a 12-gauge sawed-off, which I think we can mention because it was legal by a quarter inch.
By a quarter inch. It was under 19, right? Isn't that what it has
I
to
think
be?
it was over 18.
Okay. So it was somewhere in there.
Over 18 inches.
We were
It's
legal.
legal. Yeah. That's weird, dude. Shooting from the hip. Shooting an AK from the hip, shooting a sawed-off shotgun. Like, I bounced a few.
Yeah.
It's just weird, you know. You see it like in the movies, just yeah, right.
That's the
Your
biggest
first
thing to
3
me.
shots go into the ground like 14 feet in front
Yeah.
of you. You know?
Well, for
So you have
us,
no
they
sense.
did.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, not them. They're just one-handed. Boom.
Yeah, seeing us, like, I mean, it's just, it was funny to me seeing, like knowing, like, okay, I've got my pistol here, I'm lined up, and here's my target, I'm looking
And
down
I'm
my
gonna
scope.
squeeze the
And
trigger.
I squeeze and ping. I pull it off, and then you look at the Marine or the cop, and it's just like, draw from the hip, boom, 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 sideways hand. Boom, boom. It's like, yeah, that's how a man would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really get a sense. I don't know that this is breaking any news here either, but you really get a sense of the power, and it brings into a whole new perspective when you think of some of the tragic shit that we've seen go on around the country.
Yeah, the AR, you know.
Oh, the AK, the AR-15, all of those, and just the the sheer power and seeing those bullets.
Can't imagine having that in a closed area.
Well, and that's the other thing, like
shooting at actual people.
the closed
Yeah,
area
It's
too.
crazy to me.
When you're shooting like the ones out, the pistols on the outside part, it's like, and then we went in there. He's like, "Oh, it's gonna be a little louder in here because it's covered." Dude, imagine in that little nightclub. That's not
Imagine
just the
without
part-
ear protection.
Right,
We're all
yeah.
wearing ear protection. Imagine
Yeah.
how shocking that would be.
Oh my God.
Just one round of that. I mean,
Definitely.
it'd put you on the floor. Like, oh my God, what was that?
And the destruction, seeing the destruction that would do, feeling the power of that, and yeah, imagine walking. It all, I don't know why, but well, I know why, but it always comes back for me more than any of them to Sandy Hook. It always comes back to Sandy Hook, and you just imagine that
Close range.
Adam Lanza walking into a classroom of, how old would they have been?
5.
5 and 6 year olds.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what he killed, 26 people total, including his mom, something like that. And just walking in with an AR-15, it's unbelievable to think about. It's just incredible.
By the way, tangent on Adam Lanza. I noticed a side by side. Do this. I haven't done it. I've been wanting to do it. I've noticed a similarity between Michael Phelps and Adam Lanza.
There is some similarities. After you said that to me, you might have
Pull it
said
up.
it off the air. I was looking at pictures of Michael Phelps. There's one in particular that I
Like
saw
the
that I went,
sunken cheek.
and I went, "Oh my God, that's what Jay was talking about.
Yes.
That's the Adam Lanza picture." It might be, well, I'll tell you what it was. It was the picture I saw that he posted on Instagram or Twitter or something of him with a bunch of medals from Rio around his neck, and it was in comparison to a swimmer that did the same pose back in the 70s.
Oh, okay.
And so,
Look at that son of a bitch.
but yeah, if you've seen it, yeah, God, look at that little shithead. That's probably a women's small shirt he's wearing, and
Yeah.
it's just, wasn't he like 80
I'm not
pounds or
I'm not
something?
calling Phelps a murderer. Don't get me
Oh.
wrong. I'm not. I'm just saying they've got a similar
Absolutely
facial
not.
feature. It struck me.
Yeah. Well, thanks to the guys again. If you can find the picture of Phelps, it would be a specific picture that Jay's talking about.
Yeah, thanks to those gentlemen. And along with the power of the weaponry, you also realize the training, the level of training and the
Yeah.
skill involved with these guys. And it hits home like, holy shit, man. Like, we sit in a basement, we talk,
Yeah.
and these guys are literally putting their lives on the line.
Yeah. And some of the stories, I won't tell them, but just some of the stuff that they see on a weekly basis, daily basis in their line of work. It's eye opening,
Crazy.
and just the weight and the amount of force to pull a trigger and the power and the kick in that, like, and to line it up and get and hit a target. Like, yeah, I have a 40 Glock. I have a Glock at the house, and it's like, oh yeah, if someone came in the door, it's like, grab that, and then it's like, dude, it would take me 10 minutes to go, okay, where's that safety again? I know it. Hold on, I'll be with you in a second.
Well, remember that one exercise they had me do where I had to draw and then I had to rattle
They had you
off,
wearing a belt.
rattle off my whole magazine, and then they wanted me to kneel and reload while my partner covered.
Yeah.
And I'm going to reload, and you get like all nervous and fidgety and shit. And that was their point. Like, dude,
Yeah.
you need many, many years of training to do this flawlessly.
Yeah.
And to take another magazine out and insert it and get it going again. I mean, there was like an 8-second gap.
Yeah.
We were both dead.
It was funny because Jay's like shooting. He's like, psh, 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 and then it goes empty, and he's still trying to pull the trigger, which is what I do. The thing,
Oh,
fucking opens
there's
up,
no
it's like,
more.
Oh, I guess I'm out. And then it's like, God damn it,
Kneel down real quick.
push the
here.
button, and it doesn't slide out really, and then it's in your hip, and it's like, okay. And meanwhile, I think it was the
partner-
Marine. Your partner goes, cover, comes sliding across on a knee. Boom, 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 boom.
And then he's waiting for me. I should be there, right? I should be there with a full mag ready to go.
He
And
just looks at you. He goes, "You're dead
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
You're dead.
There's
You didn't make
little
it."
bit
sir."
of a gap.
Yeah. It was fun playing badass, though.
Yeah.
I got to admit, it was fun playing badass. We got to do that again.
You did some nice shooting too. You were like
Well.
an Annie Oakley out there. I mean,
Well, yeah. I wasn't going to go there, but now that you mention it, I mean,
you did have the
Jay and I,
the 3-time magnified scope
quiet
at 50 yards, but
quiet.
You will attest.
Mike's not on. I don't even know if he's down here. I don't see his beady little eyes anywhere.
And I can tell by your beady little eyes that you're a worm.
But they were like, all right, contest time or competition time. And I was like, shit, yeah, I'm up for it. I figured we'd, get our shoot on, and I don't remember what kind of gun you had. I believe I
You
had.
had an AR. I think I had the M4.
Okay, so you had an M4 and I had an AR-15, and they put targets out there, and it was like we had bad guys.
I'm like, oh wait, Mike has a 3 times magnified scope. Oh,
I knew you were going to lean on that. I didn't. I don't even think I used it, to be honest with you. But they told you
turn
how
it
to
on.
look. They told you how to look through your scope. Told me how to look through my scope. It was like, all right, game on. You accepted the challenge, and then
and I proceeded to put one right in between his eyes, didn't I?
you did, and then you did a nice job of dotting the landscape all around his
because
head
he fell.
from the first one.
Yeah, he
Well,
moved.
I thought I was supposed to aim a little lower than what my spot said.
Your spot.
Where
You
it was
had a
like,
nice little pattern there, Mike. You basically gave him a beard.
I tattooed this son of a bitch's chin, and it was extremely accurate because that's exactly where I was aiming. I thought I was supposed to aim a little low. I thought I was going to be hitting him in the nose, but I just lit that hooker's chin up.
Yeah, I think you're supposed to aim a little high because the scope's actually on top of the gun.
Yeah.
What?
Well, maybe with
Next
yours.
time.
I'm not going to take pointers from you. I saw
Oh,
what you did.
right in between the eyes.
Yeah, on one shot. Lucky one. Probably when you sneezed.
Son of a bitch.
Anyway, speaking of Michael Phelps, Adam Lanza, Michael Phelps, are you guys excited for the Olympics to be over? I guess to the closing
Yeah, I
ceremonies.
pretty
or-
much just tuned it out.
Yeah.
I'm kind of over it.
We
Not
had the-
that I was into it, but
Well, I was really into. I did watch the entire marathon today. I will say
Oh,
that.
shit, man.
And
Did
we
they do it? They did a full marathon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
an American.
What?
yeah,
Well, I don't know what they do. I don't
would
care
they-
about the running shit. What
Dude,
do I know?
I'll say this: America. This was a very good.
it's like the most epic
I
thing
know
of the Olympics.
it is
It's
the
like,
Olympics,
yeah,
by the way. Like that was
It's
Well,
the original.
Whatever.
But-
Okay. Yeah, they ran a marathon. Great.
no, but America
Who won? Did we win?
We came
No,
third,
but
I
we
think,
did
right?
very good, dude. But it was. Here's the key: it wasn't just third. I know a lot of people are saying, like, we actually did good in the distance in general. First 1500 win since 1908. We had a second in the 5000.
Matthew Centrowitz.
Right, which were both good, but those guys were, born not in the U.S. One was a Kenyan, one was. So it's still good. They trained under American coaching, which is good. But this guy that finished third in the, I forget his name now.
He was
but
the guy who came in like 5th in the 10K.
Yeah.
He's the guy who tripped up
Yes.
with Mo Farah.
Yes, he
Oh,
was.
Remember that guy,
yeah.
Ruddock or
and then
something
Mo
like
ended
that?
up winning
Rupp.
anyways. Yeah.
Rupp.
Yeah.
And he, but finishing third in the marathon is to me a really good sign for American running, because he's legit
What did he run?
American. It was just over 210. But the fact that he's not a Kenyan born and something
He's not
born,
a marathon runner either.
No, he was.
This was like his second or third marathon.
second marathon. He won the first one.
Wait,
he ran.
how do you get into the
He
Olympics? if it's-
qualified. His
he-
first or second one was
The first
qualifying.
one, the first one was a qualifying marathon, and he was. He
Kicked
is
its
his
ass.
coach. I have happened
Wow.
since I'm into the marathon so much. I happen to watch the thing beforehand about his coach, the coach he has, and he's had him since high school, and he was a big marathoner back in the day. But the point is, this was to me a really good sign, because it showed an American could hang in a real distance race. I was pretty excited and happy about it.
Have we talked about, or have they addressed why the Kenyans and Jamaicans are so fucking
No, don't
strong?
talk about that.
We're not
We're
allowed
not
to talk
supposed
about
to
that.
know.
What? That
don't
doesn't
know.
make
There's no
sense.
difference. We're all people.
Right. Understood.
I don't know, dude. There's
It's weird. It's fucking weird.
those Bushmen are. I don't know.
I mean, we all can run, we can all train. We have way more people than they do. Like, what is the deal here?
Didn't Jimmy the Greek have a theory?
He did. It didn't work out so well for him.
Yeah, I don't
Did he
know.
say
man.
they had an extra
That's amazing, by
bone
the
or
way.
some shit? Yeah,
was
black people have an extra tendon or some extra bone.
Oh, fuck! I forgot about that. Yeah, and that's why they were so good at basketball.
Is that what he said, or was he
think
talking
so.
about? How I thought.
No,
Wait,
you're thinking
which-
of Howard Cosell.
Am I thinking of
Look at that
Cosell?
little monkey run.
No. I'm thinking of the ones of that
How
was
did
talking
he
about.
survive that, by the way?
How did Jimmy the Greek
Because
get
it was the
fired
70s,
for
that's
that?
what-
Like, seriously, at the time.
Yeah, that
though?
was early '80s, right?
Yeah, it didn't. Yeah,
Yeah, that was like pre PC.
yeah. Super pre
Yeah.
PC.
Well, that was on the heels of the Howard Cosell thing, so people were kind of like,
what a cute little body he's got.
But
Yeah, but I
"Look
think
at
they.
the monkey go."
I think they proved that he called everybody monkey, like he called his grandson monkey. Look at
Right.
that little monkey. Yeah, I think that was a thing with him. Not trying to, excuse him if people are offended. I don't care, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
I
We
don't
don't
know
want
why.
to
Do I?
shame anybody. We don't want to put anybody on
Is
the
that a-
spot. If it looks funny, we go over and say, mm-mm.
I mean, I'm not,
Is
I
that
wasn't
it?
from
Was he
there, but
drunk
that's-
here?
The Greek.
Yeah, here's Jimmy the Greek when he ruined his career.
The black is the better athlete, and he's bred to be the better
The
athlete
black.
because this goes back all the way to the Civil War.
Slavery.
When during the slave
Yeah.
trading, the slave owner would breed his big black to his big woman.
So he's
that he
just
could
off the
have
cuff at like a dinner. I
Yeah.
thought I
big
remembered
black
him
kids.
making
In
some
Washington
statement
today, the local
on
NBC television station interviewed
set.
people about the state of race relations.
I must be imagining that. I thought I remembered him like sitting on set of whatever Wide World of Sports. Or
Oh,
whatever
he
the
could
hell
have done
did.
it before. Yeah.
That's just the one that's
Yeah.
just the one where he extrapolated on it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Is
I don't know.
that historically correct though? I think there's some
Does that explain the
historically
Kenyans, man?
Huh?
I want to
Yeah.
know Kenyans.
I know.
Those sons of bitches.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
You got an extra lung or some shit?
Dude,
I
honest to
don't know.
God, you're right. That would be it is crazy. But like, and that's my point. Like, even when America had second in the 5,000, the one that won was British, and he wasn't British. He was freaking.
Yeah.
I don't know what
I
country.
think he's Kenyan born. Isn't
Yeah, so it's like
he? Ethiopian, Kenyan.
one of
Use the Google machine, Ian. See if why are Kenyans and Jamaicans great runners? Seriously, see if they say, "Oh, it's the elevation. Oh, it's they train in the heat 24 hours a day." And that
I've heard so many different things.
Like-
I've heard that. I remember back in the day hearing it was things like because of where they're born, they have to run everywhere. Like they're so they're kind of out there, so they have to run to everywhere they're going. So they're just running as kids.
Remember
right
the
from
Bushmen?
the beginning.
The gods must be crazy. That son of a bitch ran for days. Remember that?
yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Remember
him
how he
running for
talked?
Yeah, the clicks and clacks.
That was awesome.
I remember the Coke bottle from
Yeah,
that
he
when
got hit in the head with the Coke bottle.
pilot threw out the window. They thought it was from the gods.
Yeah.
And then they used it to knead the dough, and I mean,
Very
it was
useful.
amazing. But then it turned into a weapon, I believe, and they started beating each other with it, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember how it turned out.
Yeah, I thought it turned out poorly in the end. That
Hmm.
they were one of them conked one over the head with the Coke bottle, and
That's what it always comes to, right?
I'd
Yeah,
have to
exactly.
I'd have to read this full article, but the first one that came up is an article from Runner's World, and it says why are Kenyans distant runners so fast, and it says new study of Kenyan youth suggests that it might be their extreme thinness. Now I'd have to go through this, but Runner's World is pretty. If it was in a Runner's World magazine, they wouldn't. It's not like People
There's
magazine.
definitely a running body type.
Right,
But
and-
why the fuck is their running body type twice
Yeah.
as fast as ours? you
Well, and
know?
why
Yeah.
couldn't and in the past to me, or just in general, I don't know why a person born in Oregon or born in San Francisco could not, if under the best teaching and running coaches, and couldn't do it. I cannot believe. I didn't even mean to say that. I don't even know why. I said that.
Going to San Francisco. Be sure to wear some flowers in your hair.
I don't know why I really just said that out of nowhere. I can't. But anyway, whatever. But the point was, this third place for the Americans in the marathon, I thought
That's
I was
great.
actually really excited about it and happy about
What
it.
a huge success this Olympics was for the U.S.
A lot of first times. We had our first first triathlete medal in triathlete. We had since 2000. We haven't even got a medal in that. We had a woman that won the gold.
men's basketball took home the gold today.
And that's just a few kind
Yeah,
of feeling. You know,
it'd be more embarrassing than
exactly.
anything.
That's actually funny for those guys. Like, that is like that. Like, if they win, I mean, I'm sure they're happy. Don't get me wrong, but man, if it's more like
pressure.
if they don't win, my God.
It sounds like that Matthew Centrowitz that won the 1500 meter. It sounds like he didn't even think he was going to win. Like he was talking about it afterwards. And as E mentioned, first time that we've won gold in that race.
1908.
1908, over 100 years.
Let me ask you this, E. Why is it 1500 and not
I don't know.
1600?
And the real question is why.
Why would you ask that question?
The 1600
is a metric mile.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
1500 is
So it's 4
times-
laps. Okay, gotcha.
Here's the real question: not why do they do 1500, but why does high school do 1600? Because college does 15 and Olympics do
Ooh,
15.
now you're digging deep. I have no idea.
Okay, so I don't know. And me and Chubbs were talking about that.
Now
I
you're
just
getting
don't.
nerdy, E. I don't
Okay,
know.
yeah.
I just wondered.
All right, yeah, nerd. Who was the guy that won it in 1908? Smart
I
guy?
don't know. I don't know.
Come on, tough guy. Who won it?
Hans
Mr.
Johnson.
Running. Close. It was
What
close
was
to
that?
Hans Johnson. Yeah, it was
do we got?
Mel Shepard.
Ah.
I knew that
how's
off the
that
top of
close?
my head. God damn it, Mel Shepard, 1908. How quickly we forget.
I know. I'm sorry.
But yeah, he said not Mel here. Mel's long dead, obviously. So I'm not quoting Mel
Rest in
Shepherd
peace,
here.
Mel.
Matthew Centrowitz said, I thought on my best day I could maybe get a silver but in the back of my head I thought I could get a gold maybe, and it would have been I would have been really happy with a silver, and coming away with gold is unbelievable. And then he's doing his victory lap, and he sees his dad in the crowds, and I just yelled up to him, "Are you kidding me?" And his dad yells back, "Are you fucking kidding me?" So, yeah, he was absolutely shocked. He said, "We just kept going on back and forth. I don't think either of us believed it."
Wow.
So, yeah.
What an experience.
Yeah, that's got to be amazing.
So the focus is back on the athlete and off Lochte-gate then, huh?
Yeah,
Which
well,
consumed Friday or
oh
Thursday,
my
Friday,
God.
and some of the weekend.
Dude, he's just retarded.
He is.
He's retarded.
Moron.
Yeah.
Complete moron. And what's funny is he's like 32, right?
Yeah.
And the guys he was with were like 19, 20. They get looped into this thing. Did you see their statements? They're just like, yeah, I was always truthful about what happened. I never lied about this, and this is what happened. Ryan pulled a sign off, you know?
Yeah. Ripped a poster down, a framed poster in the bathroom or something. He finally talked to Lauer on Friday or Saturday. I guess Friday.
Sounded like a stump doing it.
Yeah, he always sounds like a stump. He pretended he got choked up at one point when talking about his teammates. I mean, it was a 20-minute interview, and
Does he still have that stupid silver hair?
no, he's back to the brown hair. He's very respectable. It's combed over to the side. Very professional young man. He admitted he was drunk when he gave the TV interview to Billy Bush. He also admitted his behavior was immature, and he took full responsibility for the drunken escapade that's absolutely turned into this international incident. When Lauer asked Lochte why he lied to Billy Bush about a gun being not so much as a gun being put at my forehead and cocked.
Is this like a Brian Williams situation where you're just like, yeah, I had this thing happen, but let me take it one step further and make it cooler?
Yeah, I think it's more, let me take it one step further and make it cool.
But he's too
Brian
stupid
Williams,
to think like, wow, this just happened and this could come, all the way around back at me and be shown to be false. Whereas Brian Williams, that's years ago.
Yeah, who's going to know?
I got that right.
Yeah.
Lochte's too stupid to realize that could happen.
Lochte said, it was still hours after the incident happened. I was still intoxicated. I was still under that influence. Give me a break, dude. We've all been shit-faced drunk one night, gone to bed, slept for a few hours, 4 hours, and gotten up groggy. But at that point, you're not going to bang a fat chick at that point. You're also not going to be able to, tell an absolute bullshit story either.
And if you're not full-on passed out from being drunk, you remember enough to remember whether the guy put the gun to your head and cocked it or whether he just drew it and said, give us the money for the poster, dude.
Gentlemen, pay up. I was still intoxicated. I'm not making me being intoxicated an excuse. Well, yeah, that's exactly what you're doing. It's exactly what you're doing. It was my fault. I shouldn't have said that. Lauer said that if he'd set the record straight earlier, that the other guys wouldn't have been pulled off the plane. This is why I'm taking full responsibility for my actions, because if I didn't over-exaggerate.
Isn't that redundant?
Yeah, it's totally redundant. Exaggerate. You exaggerated. The story to what I said when I did it when it first happened with Billy Bush and yourself, I told you I didn't tell you the full story. None of this would have happened. At one point, he seemed. Well, here's the problem I had with this whole thing. He did one of those I want to say I'm sorry 110%. I've learned my lesson. He kept saying I've learned my lesson. What is the lesson that you learned? You can understand if it's
Lauer didn't ask him that. What lessons did you learn here, Ryan?
Well,
I could see Lauer doing that.
Yeah, he didn't. But it's like if you touched a burner and you burned your hand, you go, I learned my lesson that I always want to make sure and check that the burner's off before you do. But what lesson did you learn? That you're not supposed to lie for no reason to the press? What you needed a refresher course in that at 32? Really?
He learned his lesson. Don't call his mom after dumb shit.
Yeah.
God, why'd he call his mom?
I know. It is the unanswered question in all of this. Why would you call mommy and tell her about this and lie to her? But then.
Hi, mommy. Hi, mommy. Hi, mommy.
But when he's
Hi, mommy.
settle down, Ryan. It's
Hi,
okay.
mommy.
Yeah, it's your mom. He says, so he's trying to take 110% of the responsibility, and he's sorry. He's learned his lesson. But then he says, It's how you want to look at it. Whether you call it a robbery, whether you call it extortion, or us paying for the damages, like, we don't know. What kind of fucking statement is that? You absolutely knew why these guys were talking to you, why they were demanding money, and why a gun might have been drawn.
Yeah, at first maybe they didn't understand, but everybody acknowledges they had an interpreter come over
Yes.
and interpret it.
Yes.
And Lauer did follow up on that. Like, well, no. At that point, you realized it wasn't a robbery. He's like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, he's just a dolt. He's just a dolt.
These
Whatever.
poor young guys who get wrapped up with
I
this,
know.
going out with the old dude,
Yeah.
and he gets them all in trouble.
Yeah.
That sucks. Hey, folks, you want a classy, comfortable, stylish, safe, and fun-to-drive SUV with room for the whole family? Of course you do. So get your ass to Zott Ford and Holly, where you can lease the all-new 2016 Ford Edge for just $252 on a 24-month lease. If you haven't driven the new Ford Edge, you're doing yourself an injustice. Go visit Zott Ford and take advantage of a $252 a month Ford Edge before this hot deal cools down. Check out their stupefied deals and massive inventory at ZottFord.com. Get there.
Have you seen Louisiana? You know, they had all those...
How it's half underwater?
Yeah. Well, it's starting to recede now, and so they're starting to dig their way out of that.
Is it looking like a boot again?
I guess. I haven't seen a full aerial.
More like a peg leg?
Yeah, more like a peg leg, probably, is safe to say. At least 13 people died in that. 4,000 people are still in shelters, 40,000 homes damaged. I mean, it's incredible. We saw those pictures last week of the coffins.
Oh, yes. That's
Uprooted.
gross.
They said that the work of rebuilding is just ramping up. Like, dude, seeing
Can we
these
just
people...
leave it?
I know,
I'm
just
sorry.
everybody
I
out,
get it.
everybody out.
You know what? I know
Yeah.
it sucks, but can you just say? Can we realize at this point that past this line,
Well, that's the
You're
problem.
below sea level.
right? It's dumb.
They said that families are ripping out carpets now, and I mean, you see people dragging all their couches out to the curb.
Do
and,
it all again. Although they do say it's a 1,000-year storm, so...
Yeah, and this particular part is different than the lower 9th ward, I believe it was, where
got hit with the
Katrina.
hurricane.
Yeah, it's a different area than that. So this is not an area, because I was looking at the aerial shots and it was like, boy, those look like nice houses. Those don't look like, you know, some of the shit holes we saw in
Downtown.
Katrina. Yeah, they look like decent big homes, and they were.
Have they
so
figured out what they're going to do with the caskets yet? That's what freaks me out about this whole thing.
it freaks me out too, dude. It's a good question. They say that the water's still high enough that people are still rowing boats through the neighborhoods, though. So so people are trying to like row boats up to their houses just to see, like, oh, I wonder what my house looks like. Imagine that, dude. You get out of your house and it's like a week later. Now you're stuck rowing a paddle boat back
yeah,
to your
I wonder if
crib.
anybody's gone in here and taken all my shit.
Yeah, what's left of your shit. Trump flew in there too.
Yeah.
You see Trump on the ground. This place is devastated. These photo ops that these people have to do. Oh, it's just so bad. Yeah,
And then their statements afterwards are always, they're just such faithful, tough people. I know they're going to get through it.
It's devastation. It's absolute devastation down here. Nobody understands how bad it is. It's really incredible. So I'm just here to help.
What are you gonna do, Don? You gonna get out there and
Start bailing?
right?
They do those. They do the photo op where it's like, there's your Secret Service, here's Pence in a suit, and here's Trump in a suit and tie and a Make America Great hat again.
Do they have their sleeves rolled up?
Yeah, oh, of course. Well, yeah, you got to
awesome.
sell it. You got to roll your sleeves up. I think Pence had his sleeves rolled up. I'm not sure
I've
Trump
never
did.
seen Trump with sleeves rolled up.
Yeah, and then they've got one of those giant trucks where it's like, you know, let's give water to the less fortunate,
Sure.
and there's just that train of people as they all pass it down.
Yeah, just
it's
doing
like,
his part.
yeah, I'm just here to help. Really? How much help?
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, there he is.
The Navy sport coat on.
Ooh, Pence went with the short sleeve
yeah.
look.
So he didn't even have to roll them up.
Yeah,
See, I think he missed an opportunity there. I think he'd go long sleeve and roll them up.
I agree.
Just getting to work. Just rolling up my sleeves, getting to work.
Do you go tie or no tie?
Oh, you can't go tie.
Look at Trump. What are you doing in a sport coat?
He has
and
never
full-on
done
dress shirt.
He has never done that in his life. like held a box.
Well, not just
like
that. Imagine those brands. Do you think he even knows what those brands? You know,
Oh,
like
no.
just little low end generic.
Does any poor people need some of this stuff?
Yeah.
I've got some Mr. Bubble if any poor people need it.
What are these socks? What are these? Look at him holding that box. He's never held a box before in his life.
Yeah, he needs that lady to help him support that box.
The one with the big titties?
No, not the big tittied one. The one with the smaller titties. Those are some big tits back there.
Jeez.
Damn, those are nice.
And this guy's staring at him.
Yeah, he is.
I don't blame him.
Trump's
I don't
about
blame
to.
him.
He's about to hand that off and stare to the right.
Yeah, the spirit of the people here is incredible. He said, the devastation likewise. Honestly, Obama ought to get off the golf course and get down there. So Obama didn't cancel his trip. He was wherever he is on
Is
vacation.
he literally golfing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The amount of vacations those sons of bitches take.
Yeah.
I swear to God. Congress and him kills me. Oh, here they are off to their 2-week summer vacation. Fuck you, man.
Don't they take a whole month off in like
Congress.
August?
Fuck yeah, they do.
like around Christmas
Yes.
and the summer.
Oh, they take a tremendous amount of time under the guise of, well, they need to go home and meet with their constituents.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what you're doing.
Yeah. The trip did little to obscure, they say, Trump's weekend too, which was kind of crazy.
Hold on, go back to that picture. Look at all his bodyguards have gingham on.
Oh my God, those
Isn't that
are the
weird?
bodyguards. Yeah.
Look at them all. Secret
That's
Service,
hilarious.
whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
Guys, wear your gingham and khakis.
Guys, look relaxed. These are really poor people that are in some serious trouble down there. We don't want to insult them with $1,000 suits. Look at those dudes. Yeah, it's probably more of a headache than it's worth to have these guys in.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they, like in fairness to Obama, the spokesman for the governor was like, "Look, we'd rather he come next week because
then it's
bringing
just
him
pomp
here,
and circumstance
Yeah.
and photo ops, and the governor has to be there, and other leaders have to be there.
and you takes a tremendous amount of Secret Service, police, local police, ambulances, hospitals, closing of freeways,
Yeah.
the whole route for him to come in. Like it's a whole.
So that's why he stayed on vacation, right?
right. So he's best served. I'm doing my part by staying on the golf course. Is the
You ain't my
attitude.
bitch, nigga. Buy your own damn fries.
Yeah, they don't have fries right now, sir. They don't even have power there. So anyway, back to the so they were like hoping for Trump. They're like, yeah, hopefully he comes here and actually gives a helping hand, or cuts a big fat check to the whatever. And Trump's like, I'll cut a check. How big does it need to be?
Did he really?
No.
Because it looked to me like he was giving a real helping hand there.
Well, yeah, while the photographers were there, sure. At the Plainview Cemetery in Denham Springs, relatives gathered to see, where did Dad go?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
They're all just floating away.
Yeah.
So
they
commercial for cremation, man.
So they're like, well, fingers crossed. Let's see if the family's still there. And so they go to their plots, and they're just like, they find this chaotic mess with some vaults overturned, and in other cases, only empty outlines of graves remaining. So just this full, the whole thing popped out of the ground and floated down the river. It's like, boy.
Here goes Grandpa.
This is bad. You can't even come to see people. You don't know where they're at, said Ravante Thomas, whose relative's casket was missing. That's incredible. At least 15 cemeteries across 7 parishes have had disruptions. In Livingston Parish, which was hit hard by the floods, the coroner's office said they'd received reports of about 30 caskets unearthed.
God damn it, dude. That's enough. Cremate me, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Big Lebowski my ass into a coffee can and just off a
Right
windy
back into
cliff.
Big E's face.
Yeah, off a windy cliff.
Yep.
Are you suggesting that when Jay dies, I'm going to be the one taking
that's
his?
true.
I mean, you're into my face.
I know. Under what circumstance would Big E be the one?
Carrying the can. Well, if it was
It would have to be like my
okay.
whole family and
I was going to say,
extended
okay,
family.
your entire family,
Everyone that
Gab's
cares
side,
about
your
me.
side, you're all on a
all
on
my
a-
friends.
Yeah, we're all on a trip to somewhere. I don't know where we're going, but your choices are like former high school friends that you barely talk to, maybe an old coworker from the firm, or Big E. And at that point,
I guess I'd go Big E.
Yeah.
You'd have fun with it at least. Fuck, dude, later.
yeah, he'd trip before
I
he
mean,
got to the cliff, before he got to the mountain cliff. He'd
No, I'd-
spill half of you in the parking lot.
I'd be a dick and put him somewhere that he would hate, like Michigan Stadium or something.
You'd let Tony piss on me.
Yeah,
first.
I'd do some. Oh, there'd be some.
Tootsie Rolls in there, huh?
I'm trying to think. There's a word I was trying to think of. There'd be some fucking around with you before I put you. And it's to say I put you in the right spot, like I said.
Would you take a bite of his ashes?
No.
Why not? Sprinkle it on some
I taste
cereal.
delicious.
Sprinkle it on some cereal like sugar, like you did as a kid.
ingested by Big E.
Just
no, yeah. See that might be
Would
because
you snort him?
That's a good point. No, not
I
snorting.
wouldn't
but
mind someone snorting me.
Yeah, I mean Keith Richards
for the
did it
record.
with his dad.
Really?
Yeah, he snorted a line of his old man. Yeah.
Wow.
His ashes. Yeah.
You know what?
That's their story, anyways.
The reason to eat it, I wouldn't want to, but maybe I could put it in some food where I wouldn't taste it. The reason would be is because then I could say I shit him out.
Yeah.
You know what I
good
mean?
point.
Because like, take that, Jay. Go through.
I was traveling through my butthole.
Yeah,
Jay.
you wouldn't let me touch your phone. What do you think about this, asshole?
I shit him out and then I didn't even wipe. He's probably still there.
God.
Yeah. Be tough, man.
Sure would.
Did you see the guy that Lou Pearlman died?
Yes, the
Remember Lou
founder
Pearlman?
of NSYNC.
Backstreet Boys.
And what was the one on TV?
Making the band?
Yeah, was it
Yeah.
Don't
tell me you watched the Making
Dude,
the
I
Band.
remember seeing pieces of that, yeah.
He also had like LFO, was it? Or hold on, there was a couple band. LFO, O-Town.
O-Town.
I remember
O-Town.
Dude, Ashley Angel, look him up. I hate this guy. Do you remember Ashley Angel?
I actually didn't hate that show.
Son of a bitch. There was that one blonde kid.
He was from another one of those bands, wasn't he?
He
And
was
then
like-
Ashley Angel made a comeback.
He was like just so cool and like so sensitive, and he had this girlfriend the whole time, and he was just really struggling with could he commit everything to the band because he just loved his girl so much. And no, that's not Ashley
not-
Angel.
okay.
You son
It says
of a bitch.
O-Town. Okay.
That might be O-Town, but that's not Ashley Angel.
Ashley Angel, isn't he the one that had his own MTV show, reality show?
I don't know.
Blonde hair, like longer blonde
just-
hair. Am I thinking of the right kid?
Fucking boy bandish. I mean, classic boy band. You look at his face and hair, and you're like, "Pfft, yeah.
God damn, I typed in Ashley Angel. I don't know why.
You typed in Ashley Angle.
No,
Angel, you son of a bitch!
No, I meant the first.
And I can tell by your beady little eyes that you're a worm.
All right, I think he's got him here.
There he is.
Yeah, that son
look
of
at,
a bitch.
Look at how sensitive he is, man.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember he used to play like acoustic, and just
Do you have an Ashley Angel
because all of them are
song?
unabashedly just little dancing, like pretty boys, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he tried to be like deeper than that.
Yeah, there's always the deeper guy in the band. So was he part of Lou
O-Town.
Pearlman's team? He was part of O-Town, so he would have been there. He died in prison, 62 years old.
Yeah, he was in there for some Ponzi scheme, right?
Yeah, I think they said one of the worst Ponzi schemes in American history.
Wow.
I think he robbed people of like $500 million.
Oof. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Under Madoff, but pretty bad.
Yeah. Madoff's was a Ponzi scheme. Yeah, his was a Ponzi scheme too, because he was just stashing the money in the bank, right?
I don't know what he was doing.
25-year sentence is what he was serving for his Ponzi scheme. Lou
Lou,
Pearlman.
he was like a big fat guy, right?
He was huge, yeah. Cause of death not immediately known. His Ponzi scheme through his transcontinental companies was uncovered in 2006. It duped about 1,700 investors, they said, out of $500 million, in which he convinced them to invest in several shell corporations that didn't exist. Hundreds of lawsuits were filed, including one by the Backstreet Boys, who, joined the party, sirs. They were like, oh, our contract is bullshit. It's not fair. He made millions, and we did. It's like, yeah.
What would you be without Lou Pearlman?
Yeah, welcome to the entertainment world. NSYNC also filed a suit. So did Aaron Carter. Pearlman pled guilty to conspiracy, money laundering, making false statements during a bankruptcy proceeding. He declared bankruptcy in 2007, was convicted of fraud in 2008, and then he ran, I think. I think he went to Bali or something.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and they had to hunt his ass down. And the same year, there was in 2007 when this all kind of came out is when that Vanity Fair article came out. And they didn't have firsthand accounts, but there were long rumors that he was fucking around with those boys.
See, that's what I always felt watching that show. I was like, he's just got these gross sausage-looking fingers. I don't know. He's just like pinky rings and big fat guy.
Running around with the cute boys.
Yeah, exactly. Pull up a picture of all of O-Town, would you? This is going to like flash back. I haven't thought of them in a decade.
It's one of those things like, I know the people involved, like Lou Pearlman said, oh, God.
There they are. Yes, the guy on the far left with the
totally.
the little dreadlocks, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Wasn't
What is that,
Jason?
Dreads? I don't remember any of this.
Dude,
okay,
they
the ones
all
I
look
recognize
so familiar.
that's Ashley.
Yes.
That's Ashley. I remember this one. I don't even remember him.
I remember all their faces. I don't remember, like
I remember 3 of the
Their
5,
names.
maybe 4 of the 5, none of their names.
I remember there was one dude who made the finals, but was just like, no, I don't want to do it. Just some Hawaiian kid.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why I remember that, but it was like, dude, how can you give up a spot on O-Town? You're crazy.
Yeah, that was huge.
Yeah.
Was that the original Making the Band? The O-Town, like,
Yeah, I think so.
where they all live together and they,
Yeah.
The thing he'll point to, and I think what Lou Pearlman said in an interview with, I don't know, the Hollywood Reporter or something back in those days, talking about that Vanity Fair article where those allegations were mentioned about, maybe jacking off kids or blowing them or something. And he was like, yeah, well, those are all people that held a grudge against me. That nobody that I made famous has ever said anything like that. Those kids, when you talk about Lance Bass and Aaron Carter and who was the older Carter?
Yeah, the one in Backstreet Boys. I
Like,
don't know.
those guys didn't talk about him and wouldn't go down that road. And I don't know, dude, if that happened to me, like if I really wanted to be in a boy band, like boy bands were huge. You got to remember, boy bands are huge. And that's your dream. You're just one of these kids that
You might
dances at
blow
the
Lou
mall.
Pearlman, huh?
And it's like, if you can get talked into like sucking this guy's dick for a shot at superstardom, that might be something you take to your grave.
So what year are we talking here? This is probably like 94 or something.
Probably.
1994, Mike. Lou Pearlman walks up.
Me, I don't want to be in a boy band.
But you would have back then.
No,
that would have been
no.
the pinnacle.
No, if
The
you
mountaintop.
but if you could have, if you would have said like, dude, you could be in Motley Crue,
If you blow,
Nikki.
well,
You gotta
blow
blow
Nicky anyway. Look at that. Yeah, look at him, man.
Like
You know?
those tit sweats. He's got tit
He
sweats.
does.
Oh man, I feel for him. Poor guy.
See, look at his fingers. His fingers always bothered me.
Yeah.
We get a picture of his fingers. They're sausage-like.
Yeah, they are cocktail weenie-ish.
Yes,
For sure.
Very much.
Yeah.
There he is, all locked up.
Yeah. He's not going to make a run for it. You don't need to lock him up. He ain't going anywhere.
No.
But you could see like why it would be in those kids' best interest to just like now.
Right.
I guarantee Aaron Carter blew that dude.
What
I'm
good,
just telling
right,
you.
what good is it going to do for them to come out and be,
Yeah.
he did.
Yeah, he was mean. He made me suck his dick. All right, you blew Lou Pearlman. Gross. That's
know.
way worse for you.
Yeah.
You know what I
Gets
mean?
No further. You've already done Dancing with the Stars. You're going nowhere.
Exactly. Take that one to your grave. Eat it. Don't own that at all. Pretend it didn't happen. You can work that out in therapy.
Shove that one down.
Yeah.
Shove it down. Deep
He's
down.
dead. He's not going to do a tell-all at some point. The band wasn't in the room. You can just bury that
Deny,
one.
deny.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I would do anyways. I would take that one to the grave. I'm not admitting to anyone that I blew Lou Pearlman. Sorry.
Denial ain't just a river in Egypt, E.
That's right.
Jesus Christ. Sorry, that was. Ugh.
Lance Bass tweeted, word is that hashtag Lou Pearlman has passed away. He might not have been a stand-up businessman, but I wouldn't be doing what I love today without his influence. Rip Lou. Aaron Carter tweeted, Lou Pearlman, my old manager, died in prison. Rip Lou. Not the best business guy really at all, but he did discover me. Karma is real. Ooh. So you're not seeing a whole lot of,
Yeah.
oh, man.
What a great guy.
Great guy.
The world has lost a good one. No.
Yeah, I haven't seen this tweet. First David Bowie, then Prince, now Lou Pearlman. I haven't seen that tweet from any of those guys.
No.
So.
I think most people are pissed that he brought us boy bands.
Yeah. I think he saw. Who was the original boy band? Was it?
Jackson 5?
No, no, like
New Kids on the Block.
New
If you're,
Kids
if
on
you're
the
talking
Block.
back then, maybe.
New Kids on the Block.
New era boy band.
Because his first band was Backstreet, wasn't it, or was it NSYNC?
No, Backstreet was before NSYNC.
So did he have a hand with Backstreet? It was. I
What
thought
about
it was
98 Degrees?
He did not have anything to do with them. It says
Nick
associate,
Lachey, right?
under Wikipedia. It says Associated Acts, Backstreet, NSYNC, O-Town, LFO, Take Five,
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
Backstreet. I think he managed Backstreet, and then when he brought NSYNC in, Backstreet was like, "Fuck you, dude," because those guys were like Britney versus Christina. at
Oh,
the
is that
time.
right?
Yeah, they were huge rivals, and they're like, "Dude, what are you doing, managing this new group?" And
Didn't you like one? I mean, I
No,
didn't. I thought, no, not you. But if you were a fan, when he says they were rivals, I think fans liked one
Which
or
one did
the
you
other.
like?
I don't
Which
even
one?
know, dude. I didn't listen to that shit.
yeah, you were more. I could see you more Backstreet.
No, although I will say, I forgot about this when I was in high school, freshman year. I went through that small phase of where I was trying to be cool or doing what I think would be cool. So I had some frosted hair and shit.
Nice.
And so I also got some black glasses they were yellow lenses.
Oh, yeah.
And in the sun they
shit.
would turn to orange. And I did get the nickname of Justin Timberlake in high school freshman year and track.
See, I'd rather be accused of blowing Lou Pearlman than admit that.
Yeah.
You might have wanted to take that one to the grave. The orange tinted sunglasses.
I actually would wear them.
Am
Now,
I
the
the
funny
only
thing
one
is-
in the room who's never had frosted tips?
Those were huge at the time, but you were fucking like jeans and t-shirt guy like back in school. You never went with trends at all. So
I don't. Yeah, they were only in my hair for a little. I actually wanted to do my hair like completely bleach blonde, like the whole hair just bleach blonde. And
I've done that.
And I don't know why I couldn't for some reason, but I
your
did.
mom
have to.
wouldn't let you. That's why.
No, she was kind of okay
Wednesday's
with
coming
it.
up, E.
Yeah. What if they?
We can revisit some of these styles that we let
I'll
go by.
I'll dye. Dude, I would love to dye my hair. You know that, but
You gonna-
not the way they. Well, not how they'd want me to do it, but because
What would you do, purple?
I want purple or green or pink or some shit.
Can you just say it's for the show and just dye your hair purple and go home to mom, and when she yells at you, just go, "Jay made me do it."
Yeah, maybe if Jay makes me do it. No, I'm just kidding.
Big E's makeover coming up on Wednesday.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, thanks
We
to
still-
David Helm for that, by the way.
Yeah.
For,
have a-
for
Go to his
bringing
open
us the
house.
Big E makeover. Yeah, September 22nd, 3 p.m. Helm's a baller again, expanding his office. He's showing off his new palatial spread over at 598 North Mill Street in Plymouth. Get there, and it's a time where you can meet him and have your questions at.
Would that be the
answered.
best time to
Yeah.
go with like, hey man, I think I killed somebody?
Yeah, exactly.
Or
Shit, yeah.
Like, dude, I heard a big thump last night and I
Crazy.
looked and my windshield's caved in.
Right.
What do I
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
I have hairs and blood in my car,
grill.
in
To
to be honest, I don't
windshield.
remember
Yeah.
much, but I woke up.
I was drunk as shit.
Yeah, I was hammered. What do you expect? What do you want from me?
I do it. Oh,
It's a perfect time for that.
I'll look for it tonight or tomorrow. But I do have pictures. I have photos of me with the hair and the glasses.
Okay, find them
I'll
tonight.
I know.
Bring 'em tomorrow.
I think I have them.
What were you saying, E? I wanted to ask about something you were saying.
Saying something stupid.
Yeah,
About the Backstreet versus NSYNC, or was it about bands?
It was
or-
barely relevant. Probably
Yeah.
only tangentially related to the subject matter.
Was it about this, or was it about something else?
I can't
though?
remember.
Okay.
Fuck. I lost my train of thought. You kept blathering on about your tinted hair and blah blah blah, and it threw me off. So, let's take a quick break, and I'll try and think of what it was. But we'll come back, and Elizabeth Smart.
Back in the news.
Yeah, sort of. She's fine. She wasn't abducted by Brian again, but she's doing a PSA, or she did a video about porn and stuff. So we'll explain when we come back.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hey, it's Steve Gabarra, the general manager at Zod Ford in Holly. You want to lease the #1 selling vehicle in America for 35 years running and the #1 selling pickup truck for 39 years in a row? Well, then today is your lucky day. Right now at Zod Ford, we're leasing new 16 Ford F-150 Super Cab 4x4s at only $169 a month. You heard right. The best-selling pickup truck in America is only $169, and it's only at Zod Ford. Check out our dominating deals and massive inventory at zotford.com.
The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
And I can tell by your beady little eyes that you're a worm.
Welcome back to the Detroit Cast. It's Mike and Jay.
Hey everybody, it's back to school time. You know you're going to be shopping for shit. Why not use our Amazon link?
Amazon.
It's a great way to donate to the show, DetroitCast.com. There you will find a portal that will take you into Amazon. Doesn't charge anymore. Shop through that portal. We get a bit of a kickback, so please use that.
Very helpful to us. So, yeah, as Jay said, please use it. I was going to say before the break, we've got the makeover with E coming up, and I'm struggling to find a place that will bleach his asshole.
Bleacher, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't checked the P.O. box, but Joe was sending us some, for in-home use. But
I mean,
really,
I
want to only depend on that for touch-up. I don't want that to be the primary bleach.
Right.
Because I don't know that any of us are up to application.
Well, I think Sarah volunteered to apply, but I don't want to put words in her mouth.
Yeah,
I
think
certainly
you might
don't.
be.
But I thought she'd.
I thought it was
maybe I
no.
dreamt it, but I thought she said I'd be glad to apply it if need be. So, I don't know. I'd have to look back and see if she said that for sure.
Just picture a tongue depressor going into a jar and just
lather
as E is in baby changing mode. Ankles over his head.
Yeah, she's holding him by the ankles.
Holding his quad, the back of the hamstrings. His feet are up in the air. And
just doing this, trying to blow his ball bag off his butthole. Get out of the way. E, hold your bag up.
Applying liberally.
Yeah.
Dabbing. First dabbing, then spreading.
Yeah, dab, spread. E, pull it apart, lift the bag. Yeah, the whole thing. So if anyone knows a place.
It burns!
If anybody knows a place that does that, we're assuming, and maybe this is wrong of us, but we're assuming that it's going to be a Birmingham area high-endy salon.
And
that
we
would
wouldn't
do
expect any of our listeners, our high-end listeners, to have partaken in said bleaching, but maybe they've been to a salon where they've seen it on the menu.
Yeah, it's
or
there.
They've heard whispers that you can get this done. Not only can you get the Brazilian, but you could.
Yes. Yeah.
They also do.
Yeah, if you're interested,
They might.
Yeah, if they're not opposed to laser hair removal of the butthole, maybe they go a step further and do bleaching. If it's like, I got wind of a place, I don't know that they do bleaching, but they definitely do laser hair removal of the butthole. It's in the sheet they advertise.
They had a whole jar of tongue depressors.
Yeah, they've got that blue Barbasol shit there too, like you see in barbershops. So, if anyone's got a good lead on something.
Yeah, seriously.
Or if there's a young student looking to dabble at this, this is a career choice you're making for the future, and you'd like to give it a try, we're willing. We're game.
Cosmetologist.
Sure.
A young cosmetologist.
Absolutely. Treat E's butthole like a science project. Have your way with it. It's like
do whatever you want. It's a blank canvas.
Yeah, consider E's butthole like those students, in the hair cutting students. They just give you the doll's head with a wig on it, and they make you cut it. Consider E's butthole.
He's got it all grown out, and then you can just nothing's been done to it.
You're starting from scratch.
Yeah, it's all grown out, and you can just whittle it down to whatever. It's just trim that
masterpiece.
Trim that hedge.
Yeah, have your way. Anyway, so anyway, Joe is sending us some.
Some
stuff.
We'll be able to, like I said, have a touch up for him.
What does he own again? What does Joe?
He owns a lingerie / adult toy shop.
Why isn't he
Vegas.
advertising in this show?
I don't know. He should. I think he should. I think he would do well.
Yeah, I think he would too. Would you try some products if Joe sent us some stuff? Would you bang a Fleshlight or a?
You know what?
I'm not doing no butt plugs though or anything. But
Yeah, we'll work our way to that.
You know what I want to see E do is like the 1970s traditional blow up doll, just old school.
Mouth
straight
agape.
arms, mouth agape.
Oh. Does that have a vagine hole and a mouth hole, or was that just meant for the mouth?
When you buy them, there's ones that will say like, 3 holes.
Oh, really?
Or 2 holes.
They advertise that, really?
Yes.
Huh.
I know some of those are getting crazy now. Like they'll mold like a porn star's vagine and butthole.
Oh my god.
And you can buy like ass shaped with a tiny little tight butthole. And then it's like, they'll model. They have models for this where it's like they've done contests. perfect vagine contests. And
what
then
do you do? You put it on a chair and just go to town? Huh?
Yeah, so you got this little ass, and it's got a vagine, and it's got a. You just, I don't know. E, if we got one for you, would you try it out?
Sure.
And you just get it there.
Yeah, sure.
Now, how many times
Here's my
during that
problem.
process does a thought go through your head? What does my life come to?
I know that's. Well,
Yeah.
here's the other thing. My thought is like,
Don't judge.
dude, I don't
judge.
I know I'm not
I'm
going
going to shame anybody.
No. We don't want to shame anybody. We don't want to put anybody on the spot. If it looks funny, we go over and say,
I always wonder because I'm not going to clean these things. I'm not cleaning it. So like, to me, it's like I'll do it one time
There's
then.
no rank.
I'll
Dude,
do
they're
it
so
one time.
reusable, too. You have to clean it. That's the one thing you have to do.
So I'm going to use it once. I'm tossing it then because I'm not cleaning this thing out.
E.
What do you do? Turkey baster? Or do you take like a hose attachment? What are you doing? Are you just
don't
putting
know.
it, running
That's
the
my
water
point.
in the tub and putting it under there?
You could snowball with it, E.
I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
Yeah. Google it.
I don't think. No, thank you. I'm going
Google
to.
snowballing. E, you'd be a perfect candidate for snowballing.
Snowball with
It involves a straw.
Oh God.
I believe you finish in your partner and then with a straw.
Huh.
But you wouldn't have to clean then. If you know what I
Yeah.
mean? If it's all about, like, I don't want to get the liquid soap out and have to clean and scrub, like, you know.
It's just protein.
Yeah.
Oh,
Your own protein, but
Am I right? Do I have that right about snowballing? It's different than docking. I don't want people to get confused.
docking is the insertion of one man's glands into the foreskin of another's.
Is that what you were thinking of or no?
Okay, that's a little different. Maybe it's a.
yeah, you need somebody actively putting it in their mouth and then secreting it into his.
Yeah.
I mean, unless
It's
something different, I don't know.
basic cum swapping. I mean, it's age old, but whatever. You don't have to do. Yeah. Maybe I've got the wrong name.
Well,
for
here,
it.
you know what? Here's the Urban Dictionary. I haven't read this yet, but this is the Urban Dictionary.
Oh, God.
I'm not reading that.
Okay,
No. Jake's gonna walk out the door.
good enough.
God.
Anyway, so
Oh,
we'll look
God.
forward to I know.
I didn't
Or
read
you could, or you could rinse it out. Whatever, your choice. Elizabeth Smart. Remember Elizabeth Smart?
I was shocked when that chick came home alive.
Was it
man.
9 months?
Oh, I thought she was so dead and buried in a shallow grave.
Yeah. So did everybody.
Of course, this is the young girl. What was she, 14 at the time?
Or 12?
12, 14, taken out of her bedroom by a guy who had done some work around the house.
Yeah, Brian David Mitchell.
Yeah.
And then people were looking for her all this time. And Ed Smart, Elizabeth played the harp. She played the harp. Remember Ed Smart, nerdy dad, was on every TV station. Poor
Yeah.
guy. I mean, people were fingering him
Oh,
for
yeah,
this.
gross.
And yeah, it was awful. But talk about a parent's nightmare, a child's nightmare. This is the ghost in the closet. There's someone under my bed moment.
Well, her little sister saw it, right? And that's ultimately who tipped him off to this
Yeah.
guy.
Slow
she was
down.
like, I know. She was like, I think that it was the guy who did work on the roof or something. They're like,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah, and then the guy had her basically in a burqa,
Yeah.
and they
With
were
his
walking through.
gross wife. Remember how
Fat,
gross his
gross.
wife was?
Ugh. Yeah, I
You almost can't blame him for kidnapping a child.
I know, right? Well, she spoke out for the first time about that ordeal, like kind of in detail about what happened to her. And
Well, she did that on like 60 Minutes or something a while back.
yeah,
didn't she?
not like this though. About like details about rape, being like the little cave in the mountain that she was taken to, and then chained, bolt chained down, and then he would rape her all the time. Well, the reason she's talking about it is because she claims that Brian Mitchell was looking at hardcore porn. And so he would look at this hardcore porn, and that drove him to repeatedly rape her. She spoke in detail for the first time in this video produced by Fight the New Drug. And she says, porn made my life a living hell. It made my living hell worse. It just led him to raping me more than he already did, which was a lot. She describes how he would look at porn, show the images to the then teenage girl before abusing her. He would just sit and look at it and stare at it, and he would just talk about these women. And then when he was done, he would turn and look at me and be like, now we're going to do this. I know. She's a devout Mormon and an advocate for child safety, is the director of the Elizabeth Smart Foundation, and has taken a stance against porn. She's on the attack against porn. That's the whole point of this video. She thinks that porn is what drove him to this. And I think that's kind of a stretch to just loop everybody that looks at porn into one group as like, that's what led to this. You know, don't take
his gross wife.
That's
actually a good picture
Dude,
of her.
I was going to say, that's a great picture of her. I thought she was fatter and...
Yeah. Oh, look at them. Look at them. Look at that scraggly shit, man. Just living in a cave. What it does to people.
Yeah.
Cave dwelling. My God, I'm glad we moved on from that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's served us well to get away from
However,
cave
if you want to go
dwelling.
back to hibernation, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I could put up with it for a few
Curl up
months.
for a few months.
Yeah, what did you say, 3 months, 4 months, something like that?
Take 3.
All
I'm
right.
not going to be greedy.
Yeah, I'd take 3 as well. As long as you can get Steve to not go out and gather.
Let's get
That's the
through
problem.
Christmas and then hunker down.
Do we get
Can we
Christmas?
all agree on that?
Do we lose Christmas?
Let's move Christmas up. Let's move Christmas up early into December.
Okay, maybe
Right?
mid-December, but I could
Maybe
take
December 10th, something like that.
January and February. Honestly, for me, just January and February would be enough to me.
No.
Half of December, half of March. There we got our 3 months.
So December 10th to March
Stay
10th.
the fucking bed, Steve.
Yeah, I like it. I like where you're going with that. So anyway, she goes on to suggest that porn is what drove Mitchell to steal and violate her. Looking at porn wasn't enough for him. He just always wanted more. It led to him to finally going out and kidnapping me. I witnessed firsthand how damaging it is. I don't know. I think that's I understand why she's doing the video, but porn is what it is. Porn is friggin' huge. I don't know that you can blame porn just because some weirdo psycho took it to that extreme. You know, I don't know. It probably doesn't help.
Right, probably didn't help the situation.
But you know, along the lines of toothpaste being out of the tube, I don't know that you're going to eliminate porn. Try as you may.
Right,
Ms. Smart. That's just my thought. Remember the guy we were talking about last week, the cannibal?
Oh yeah, FSU student who left in a huff out of a sports bar or restaurant, leaves in a huff and goes and kills a husband and wife in the garage.
Yes,
and then eats his face.
He ate more than his face.
Goes
too.
zombie on the guy.
Yeah.
And then Jeff Fisher, the neighbor, gets stabbed by him.
Which is weird. When was he coaching tennis? He was coaching tennis. He's down in L.A. now, which is weird that Coach Fisher would be involved in some of this. Austin Haroof was his name. Apparently, he bragged to the police because he's had multiple surgeries now, like on his hand, and he was in critical for a while because of the absolutely excessive tasering they did on this son of a bitch. He was bragging to them though that you're not going to find any drugs in my system. Police say that they say that the test came back negative for all common street drugs.
Isn't that worse though? Wouldn't you want drugs in your system? Almost to explain.
Well,
it?
yeah, I think people are looking for a reason or some sort of excuse. I mean, not that there's a good excuse, but something you could point to instead of just like the service was slow at the restaurant we were at. I mean, that's hardly seems like a reason to take that sort of anger out on.
Very frustrated.
Yeah. Police say they found a broken vodka bottle in the garage at the scene of the crime, and that was used as a weapon. And then he chewed the face and abdomen of John Stevens.
Oh,
yeah. He's accused of
gnawing on some old dude.
Yeah. It's incredible. It's incredible. He's accused of killing Stevens and his wife Michelle in the garage of their home back in Jupiter, Florida last week. They still say it absolutely seems like a random attack.
Yeah, Gab and I were sitting on our garage barbecuing last night.
Oh, nice.
They're sitting in our driveway, not our garage. You know, come on. We don't sit in our garage. Sit in our driveway. And I go, hey, you know, this happened in Florida. A guy just ran up and killed this couple and started gnawing on their face. It just felt incredibly random. The randomness really set in.
Yeah.
Like, wow, just sitting there with a beer. And
did she go, why are you telling me this?
No, she's like, yeah, I heard you talking about that.
Yeah.
That was the 3 minutes of the show that she listened to.
Really? It appears that the wife was killed first, followed by her husband, who was then partially eaten by this dude. It took multiple deputies and the taser and the dog, the canine unit, to all get this guy off. But when we got him to the hospital, he said, you're not going to find any drugs in my blood. And then the reports did not indicate any of them. Coke, meth, weed, opiates, none of that stuff in his system. They said the feds are involved now, too, and additional tests are being carried out by them. And they released some closed-circuit television over the weekend of him like storming out of that restaurant. His mom said she contacted authorities saying, "Yeah, my son's been acting a little strangely for days, claiming he has superpowers." Oof. Yeah. If a kid's claiming he's got superpowers and he's not 5,
Can you make a call?
can we call something? A therapist, a doctor of sorts? I mean, if he's a 5-year-old, whatever. I think I claimed I had superpowers at that age.
Because the thing to me is it's one thing if after the fact you find like he was writing it down in a journal or he's telling his mom.
Here's the thing, though. They wouldn't have done anything. They would have come and done a check, and they'd have been like, "Well, he's not he's not
Threat to
threatening
himself.
us."
How is he bringing this up though? That he has superpowers, and what were the powers he was bringing up? Like he's like, I feel like I could fly.
Got a cape on, and he's jumping down the stairs. Hey, Mom!
She said there's no history. She told the officer her son had no history of mental illness, no heavy drug use.
That she knew of.
Yeah, right. Something doesn't make sense there.
It's a college student. What parent really knows what their kid is doing in college? I mean, really.
Yeah, that's true. But if he wasn't all fucked up on something at the restaurant, and I don't know, man, something about that story. I hope for the sake of everyone involved that they do find Flocka or bath salts in this kid's system. I mean, at least you could make some sense out of it. God, that's just brutal, though. I mean, it sounds like he was just using weapons of whatever was in the garage. It sounds like an absolutely horrific scene, too. Terrible.
Zott Ford and Holly makes buying or leasing a new Ford car, truck, or SUV tons of fun. Everybody knows that, but here's a new little tidbit for you. Now until the end of the month, Zott Ford is offering employee pricing for everybody on most models in stock. That's right. Everyone gets employee pricing at Zott Ford and Holly. So don't wait or hesitate. Take your ass to I-75 and exit 98 right now and jump all over this ridiculously amazing opportunity only at Zott Ford.
Several pills taken from Prince's house. They're in Paisley Park.
Oh, did he have some pills there?
He had a few. Yes, he did. They said that they were counterfeit drugs that contained fentanyl, synthetic opioid, 50 times more powerful than heroin.
Is that what killed Jackson, too?
No, he was propofol.
Oh, okay.
But
I get the
same family. Yeah, they said many of the pills were falsely labeled with Watson 385, which anybody who's familiar with that industry knows that those are Vicodins. So you've got, that's the code that's stamped on those pills, be a mixture of acetaminophen, which is aspirin, and hydrocodone, which is what is the makeup there. So I don't know. I didn't know they were doing that sort of thing, making it look like a Vicodin of sorts and then having like fentanyl stuffed in there. I wasn't aware that was going on. That's scary as shit, though. If some kid thinks he's taking a Vicodin, you get that in the wrong hands of anyone, you can imagine the damage. Autopsy results showed that he died of an accidental fentanyl overdose. The records say Prince had no prescription for any controlled substances in the state of Minnesota in the year before he died. Authorities are still trying to figure out how he obtained these drugs. I bet that guy's shaken.
Yeah.
That's not going to be one I would think that they would let go. I think they're going to look for someone to blame for that death.
Just like the doctor in Jackson.
Yeah, anytime you've got a famous person that goes down for something like this, they're going to find out who the fuck was getting them for him. Another aspirin bottle had 64 counterfeit tablets in it. Some pills that were analyzed contained fentanyl, lidocaine, U4770, which is a synthetic drug 8 times more powerful than morphine. Authorities also found a prescription bottle in someone else's name that had oxys in it, like 10 oxys in it. Roughly 20 different bottles or pill containers have been analyzed. Tests, they say, did not show fentanyl in his system, which means he wasn't a long-time abuser of that drug, but likely took the fatal dose sometime in the 24 hours before he died. The autopsy report shows he had diazepam, which is Valium, which is not a good combination. If you're mixing Valium to bring yourself down and, all these other, I mean, that's just all going to slow your heart rate down. That's how you go to bed and don't wake up. Lidocaine, which is a local anesthetic, and then hydrocodone acids in his body. So, not a terrible shock, but sad nonetheless. Boy, I didn't know they were doing that though. These, like making super drug pills like that. I didn't even know that was going on. That's crazy. And then before we get to some email. El Chapo's kid, I guess, is okay.
What the hell? It's more surprising than Elizabeth Smart walking out of that.
If
Honestly.
it's true, these are if it's
Honestly.
true, these are the gang. Like, there's blogs out there that are like narco gang related in Mexico, and
There
they're
are blogs.
Yeah,
I should
yeah.
Make sure I'm update to the update of the turf wars or.
Imagine going to a job interview. Well, for 2014 to 16, I blogged for El Chapo and his gang.
I blogged at elblogdelnarco.com.
Just looking to get bigger. Just next step in my career process.
So they say the son of the chap and 5 others were released on Saturday after being abducted from the restaurant 5 days ago. Jesus Alfredo Guzman Salazar. There are no details of where Salazar and the others were released, but Salazar is believed to be back with his family, according to the Mexican crime blog elblogdelnarco.com. And then there was another site that said that too.
Is it possible that they're just really low-level dudes who thought they were getting somebody else and accidentally caught this big fish and were like, fuck, so they let him go?
I don't know, man. That sounds like that group, the Jalisco whatever, is a big deal. Another big crime group. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. I don't think he turned up with a penis in his mouth or buttocks, which just seems incredibly weird.
Again, I preferred buttocks. If this happens to me, please put it in my buttocks.
Yeah. Do you want your own or you want someone else's?
I mean, I guess I'd rather have my own.
You do? Yours is big, though. You want that thing stuffed
Don't
in it?
start that again.
Good Lord. I know. The cross to bear. I know. It's been a struggle for you. No official statements have been released by Mexican officials about the incident, and Salazar and the other 5 people are still listed as missing technically. But those are the reports coming out.
That's
I don't know,
crazy.
man.
There must have been some kind of negotiation, right? Though they couldn't just release them.
That's the thing. I don't think they negotiate.
I know. I was just thinking that too. Like, how does that negotiation go?
I mean, it's not about money. It would be about turf wars, and
I think my theory is it. I think some low-level dudes looking to impress somebody up the ladder. Yeah, we'll take these guys right here. We know they're with this organization. Then they get them over there, and they go, "Are you fucking kidding me? This is El Chapo's son.
Yeah,
you assholes.
You're going to start a turf war that will never end. You're going to start a battle that, I suppose anything's possible. Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess we'll have to wait to see what else is said, but crazy.
Got some email, Mike.
What do we got, buddy?
Well, I will mention this. We were talking about frosted tips a moment ago, and Aaron was nice enough to do a Google search. The talk of Mike once having frosted tips had me curious, so I did a simple Google search for Mike Walters with frosted tips, and these images came up. I know that the internet wouldn't lie to me or give me incorrect information, so I'm not going to question it at all. The search returned these results. They must be accurate.
He's an asshole.
What?
Oh, pictures of Chaz Bono as a female pop up.
That is you, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
the
my
one on
old
the right?
promo picture from Riff.
Oh, Mike,
Yeah.
you look like $1 million.
Oh, thanks. I hated that picture.
Look at you, Mike.
Fucking
Look at how good he
hated
looks,
that
see?
picture. Oh,
Look at that. Didn't know he could look so good.
Yeah, I've seen that.
terrible. I don't think I ever used that promo picture, ever.
Well, it's out there.
Yeah, thanks.
Frosted tips.
Yeah, it was on the website for a while. I know it's out there.
You know, my theory...
There's probably at Riff, there's probably cases of that.
Oh, really?
In the
Just untouched,
yeah.
never signed, never used.
No.
Yeah.
Shut up, E. Get that off there, you fucking asshole.
The worse you look now, the cooler you were then. That theory
Get
is
out of
totally
there, E.
true, dude. Seriously.
Yeah. Thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah. That means you were cool then.
Fuck AA.
Back then, you were cool.
Yeah.
Jason writes in, Dear podcast heroes and Big E, of course, happy 3rd anniversary to some of the funniest guys in the podcast verse. How do we know it's our 3rd anniversary?
From what? The start of the Detroit
I don't know.
cast?
Yeah,
or you
yeah.
being here?
No, I saw somebody, or Fox tweeted that, right?
Because people put this shit in their calendars.
Well, what determines the... What is it, my first show or something?
Or it's probably the start of the Detroit cast because you haven't been here 3 years.
You're right.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the start of when this was started, August
So
2013.
probably, okay, so there was probably, we sent out Facebook posts the very first show that Clark and I did of the Detroit cast.
Gotcha.
And so that date is probably showing up in people's things as a former memory. And so then they're going, oh, 3 years ago today, happy 3rd anniversary.
I feel like I've been here 8 years. I got to be honest.
I feel like you've been here 10 years.
Been a listener since the beginning, and I must say, you fellas have been having great shows for quite some time now. I've used your Amazon link a couple of times, even though I don't buy a whole bunch of stuff for myself. Even a little bit counts. Yes, it does. I'm really looking forward to the Massey Show in Shelby Township in October. Since I'm an East Sider, I was unable to go to Ann Arbor to see him the last time. Uber will be my best friend that night. Hope you guys have one hell of a long, prosperous time podcasting for us monsters. Love you guys, and you too, E. Keep it stiff, Jason and Macomb. Yes, everybody, don't forget about Massey, October 7th in Shelby.
Yeah, we'll have more details. We should have those by Tuesday, right?
Sure. If
I'm
we say
thinking-
Tuesday, it'll be Friday, but whatever.
No. Well, we're going to make some calls and finalize some things tomorrow.
Yeah, so Friday.
Whatever. Fuck you. Fine. Friday.
Nothing
Friday.
happens on schedule in this business.
Well, whatever.
Dude,
Well,
seriously, what have we ever done that's actually like, yeah, we'll get that done tomorrow, and it actually goes?
Shooting?
Well, that's because 2 other people were in charge of that.
A Marine and a cop.
Yeah.
Whatever. We had to be somewhere on a certain date. We were there. Happened. As scheduled.
I was there first, but no big deal.
Good job, E. Chris writes in, I just wanted to let you guys know that you're doing a great job and I enjoy the show. I usually listen at work while doing homework. I'm an old lady that went back to school. Listening to the show makes me laugh and makes the time go by faster. Because we are poor white folks, I appreciate getting my free's worth. One day when I'm rich, I plan on donating more. I did a small Amazon purchase a couple of weeks ago. I want to make sure the show did get credit for it. Is there somewhere on the Amazon at the end of the transaction that confirms the show did get credit for the purchase? No, there's not.
There is, though. If you look at the
URL,
the URL, it'll end in .detcast
and that
or
remains
something.
the whole time.
I think so, and I think that remains for 24 hours.
I know when I click on the button from your site, it shows the Detroitcast in the address bar, but further
Yes.
down the line, nothing is shown.
Yep, as long as it's in the address bar, you're good.
Yeah, if you have any information regarding this, please share. That's it.
You
Thanks
can
for-
send us your name and whatever you bought, and we can cross-check it,
Yeah, we can
too.
check it. Mark writes in, Tales of the Most Dangerous Sport and Retro Bush. Mark is one of our favorite emailers. He's one of the runners. Mark writes in. He said that, so I'm reading.
Thanks. Yeah, got it.
Gents, you may recall my tales of woe concerning the extreme sport I partake in, running. I write in as a public service on my latest malady. Some may hearken back to my frostbit Panoose and my brother's chase as a shirtless running guy in Florida. I have continued to run for fitness this summer, and the heat has been a challenge. I only have time to run at midday during my lunch break at work. I awoke last Sunday with a horrible pain in my groin, and upon inspection, a terrible rash on my abdomen, around my waist, and Panoose. Unlike Mrs. Fady's baby boy, I promptly went to the doctor. Hi, Miss Fady, by the way.
Yeah.
Heat rash, or malaria rubra for Dr. Walters, is a blockage of the sweat glands, in that the obstruction causes leakage of sweat into the deeper layers of the epidermis, provoking an inflammatory reaction and giving rise to redness and large blister-like lesions. It is painful, like a pins and needles sensation, burning, itching. Even wearing clothes hurts. Doing anything that causes you to sweat hurts. My doctor quickly confirmed it and laughed. Nothing he could do. My skin has to grow out and shed layers, unblocking
Whoa,
the
he's
glands.
a snake.
Ah,
Yeah.
I think we're all snakes.
Are we?
Yeah, I think we all kind of, yeah.
Huh.
Skin's
I had no
always
idea.
growing. A week or two, he said. He then said, stop shaving below your belt. The hair there is supposed to channel air in and moisture out, allowing you to sweat. When it's shorn, the trapped moisture can mix with skin oils, sunscreen, etc., and clog up. So I implore you, podcast legends and listeners, grow it out. Mark.
I don't care. I'm not growing it out. and I hope the girls aren't for sure.
Yeah. I agree
Guys,
with
you can let it go a little bit maybe, but girls,
Yeah.
just deal with it then.
What do? Do you go down to a 1 or you go down to 0? What are you doing? You bald?
No, I'm not.
Remember, he uses the same beard trimmer that he...
I know.
I do.
So is it about your beard
I still
length?
do. I don't. Not my
God, can you imagine that thing sitting on the edge of his bathtub? Just
no, how I-
pubes and
no.
facial hair just mixed in.
No, I do it over the toilet,
just
dude,
billowing,
so I can flush it.
just billowing out of the end of it.
Yeah.
stuck
It's always
in
such a
there.
hassle, dude, because I always I'd like put my shirt, I'll tie my shirt up, like throw it through here, and I have to sit there. And...
So you do like the little girly bra
Yes.
thing?
Yes.
Oh my God, E, that must look incredibly gay.
Can you take a picture of it next time you do that?
I'll try to do it without showing my testicles, I guess.
Yeah.
Holy
We'd all
shit!
appreciate that.
Why don't you just whip your shirt off?
I
dude?
don't know.
That's
Now that
fucking
I'm thinking-
weird.
Great question.
I think I'm just sitting there like that, so I'm just, You're right. I don't know because
Picture this.
I
Everybody
don't
knows
like
what
being,
he's talking about, right? He takes the bottom of his t-shirt up through his neck hole and down.
Yeah.
So it's creating a bra type
Yeah.
look.
I don't like being naked.
with a bare midriff.
Oh my god.
I don't really like having my shirt off. I don't like being naked, really, for the most part. So,
P.S. to the listener from Toronto that used the word cottaging, it's somewhat common to use it in Ontario, but usually by elitist city dwellers in places like Toronto. The rest of us in Ontario are not smug enough to get away with it. Winky face. Yeah, cottaging
I
has
like
been
the
a
term.
Well, it's been a situation here. We've had several people chime in on the cottaging, and
I bet the Bidens say cottaging.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
oh that white Biden family, yeah,
Yeah.
We had several emailers point out the Urban Dictionary definition, which, just as a reminder, is a gay slang term originating from the United Kingdom, referring to anonymous sex between men in a public lavatory, a cottage, a tea room, or cruising for sexual partners with the intention of having sex elsewhere.
Nice. So George Michael
George
was
Michael, a
cottaging.
famous
Yeah.
cottager. I was just about
Yeah.
to say that.
Yep.
Yeah, he got like rest area or something, or like a bathroom.
A couple times, didn't he?
God, what a weirdo.
Yeah, I think he was glory holing it.
Oh.
Or cottaging. I know. Could you imagine sitting there, just sitting down on the toilet seat, and you've just got this cock hole to your left, and just waiting, knowing that Christmas is coming soon.
Yes, people
And
do
then-
that shit.
And then all of a sudden it's like, here it comes, and all of a sudden a helmet comes popping through. You don't know whose it is.
That's the excitement of it, righty?
I guess it would be. What is it? The stomp or something? Isn't there like one? You're supposed to.
Yeah, what was
some
that congressman? He got caught in the airport bathroom.
In Minnesota, yeah.
It's like you do the.
He had the wide stance.
Yes,
thing.
the wide stance.
I had a wide stance. I wasn't kicking his foot under the
Yes.
stall. I had a wide stance. Yeah, it was in the airport in Minnesota. I can't remember his name. Yeah, I want to go to those and sit in that bathroom, that glory hole bathroom, and just stand by the wall with just a pair of shears and just wait for that fuck. Go ahead, send it through. Go ahead, send it through. Oh, that's so creepy. No, I don't want to shame anyone. That's fine. If they want to do that, good for them.
You know, there are people who don't want to do other things. You know, if you want ice cream, you don't go to a barbecue shop.
Is that strictly a mouth game, by the way? Anyone
Glory
know?
hole? I don't know.
Do people back into
I
a
was
glory hole, or
trying
is
to
it
think
straight
if
mouth?
you. I don't know that you could do it.
I mean, what's the
Well,
gentlemanly
you're-
move?
Yeah,
What's
you're losing length because you've got a wall there, right?
yeah.
So you got to be pretty extended, I think, to go through whatever.
Well, those are only
whatever
you're losing
surface.
an inch and a half. But I mean, no, the guy on the receiving end
Right.
is it considered uncouth to back into it? I mean, can you back into a glory hole? I don't know what the rules are. Anyone? No.
What's the etiquette? I don't know.
Yeah.
John writes in, gentlemen in the Tard, forgive me if this has already been completely covered, but I just finished episode 640 where Dan writes in that he will no longer listen after the reaction to his email about show length. Don't get me wrong, I would love to have a 2-hour show every day, but back in early May, I fell a week behind on the show, and after a busy summer, I'm now 2 weeks behind trying to catch back up. Living in Honduras, it is nearly impossible to keep up with the news through mainstream media, so I get most of my news, as crazy as it sounds, from the Detroit Cast, and I'd like to be listening to the new ones as they come out, but for now I'm enjoying having as much to listen to as I can. Keep up the great work, fellas. I'm sure 99% of the listeners would like a longer show. You've got busy lives of your own, though. Love the show, and the hour-and-a-half shows have been keeping me entertained. Your missionary, not position listener, John. We have pastors and missionaries listening to this show.
What is going on?
Open-minded individuals.
That's awesome. He's in Honduras. Did you say?
Honduras.
Wow.
Missioning.
What is a
Christian
missioning
missionary?
roles
I'm
do?
assuming that's what I was.
He's
assuming.
building houses, or you-
Starting a church or something?
Right.
why would you listen to the Detroit Cat? We've said horrific shit.
Horrific.
I mean,
wow. We spoke of missionary,
yeah,
but not in those terms.
no, hardly ever.
More
Well,
in
God
terms
bless
of
him.
animal.
E trying to bang a cow missionary position.
Yeah,
That's the only time missionaries come up.
well, God bless him. That's good for you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Mike,
I like
we'll
missionaries.
We'll save the rest for tomorrow.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. Is there anything else we need to mention, Jay?
I don't
Are
think
we
so.
good? Okay. Well, we'll call it a day there. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for supporting us, supporting the show, and all that shit. More details to come on the Massey event. And I don't know. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.